Howdy folks, I'm sitting on the balcony of our unit here at Sol Paje in Zanzibar, and I think I should do a quick update. It's very difficult. I'm on holiday at the moment, of course, and I've had such a difficult week. Not really difficult, but just tiring because of the movements of Bitcoin particularly, and Ethereum, and we've been trading these very vigorously. So I'm sitting here in the heat, and I'm going to give you a quick update just to keep you abreast of what I think is going on in the markets. Let's have a quick look. Now, the euro and the pound, I'm going to start with currencies, have broken down through support. I want to focus again on the dollar index, which has broken through quite a significant resistance level, and not, in fact, two resistance levels really. First of all, the triangle that we've been focusing on for such a long time, the top of this triangle was defeated, and also the top of this order block and this swing high was defeated. So we've got to sort of go into a longer term view on this and see where we could go on the dollar index and how that might lead the euro and the pound, or vice versa really, in true terms. Now we've got this channel triangle top, and it's just above us at about 110. Can you believe we're all the way back up there already? We're currently trading at about 107. So it could be that the dollar index has to get up to 110, which is 200 or 300 pips above us, which would mean that the euro and the pound have to drop a little bit further, quite a lot further. And some would call that sort of catastrophically. I'm not too sure about that though, because look at Friday's candle, quite a big wick high. In fact, the wick on this candle is bigger than the body of the candle. The pity is we didn't close back beneath this yellow block above here. So I think it's kind of 50-50. Are we going to carry on for another 200 or 300 pips up on the dollar index and therefore 200 or 300 pips down on the euro and the pound? It's quite possible. Or that wick high there might signal or pretend a change in direction. We see the same wick on the euro, not so much on the pound. The pound has sort of been understandably leading weakness, but the euro's fared rather better. However, having said that, we have broken down through this key support. I've got fairly small long positions here. I'm still willing to add, but not until we get some sort of reversal candle. This is the daily chart on the euro. And a little bit below us, we've got some further support, and I need to draw a Fibonacci line in here just to show you that. And you can see by drawing that line, we've got the 618, the golden pocket number, the golden ratio, a little bit further down, not much further down, and that's at about 101. Can you believe we're approaching that level again? After all of that time in consolidation right at the top here, and I described it as a long-term range that looked like a bull flag, but we've now broken out of that flag pattern. It's possible that this might turn into an expanding or broadening pattern, that we may form a low somewhere near this fib and then make a slightly higher high and then form a reversal megaphone. We'll have to wait and see how this market opens up. Of course, there's all sorts of political news, very terrible, bad and unpleasant news, which makes me incredibly angry actually. Don't even want to talk about it. So let's not talk about nuclear weapons and Russia and US and all that sort of thing. So it's a little bit fraught. And particularly when I'm on holiday, there's a lot of Russians here, by the way, and Ukrainians and generally Eastern Europeans all around this island. Some of them I think have evacuated or escaped. So not a good situation, not good for the euro, not good for the pound. Probably good for the US dollar and the arms manufacturing industry, and that's why we see some dollar strength. Now the pound has not quite reached the support level or broken through it. We have broken through the trend line. I don't worry too much about that. I'm more concerned about this low down here, and I'm squinting because I've got the direct sunlight. I've got my screen turned up to the brightest possible level, and that's at around about 1.2450, something like that. So whether we can hold here or not on the currencies, I don't know. And if we do drop a little bit further and start to make lower closes, I'll have to hedge both the euro and the pound. On the other hand, the dollar yen has actually held down quite well, meaning that the yen has been stronger against the dollar, perhaps understandably being its location in the world, Japan being a lot further away from all of this nonsense and action that's going on. And we formed a lower high so far, but not a lower low. I need to draw a trend line connecting those peaks. So once again, we've moved into a triangle situation on the dollar yen, and as long as we're squeezed into this apex, it's anyone's guess which way this may break. We had a bit of a bullish reversal candle on Thursday. Let's have a look at the day chart for a broader perspective on this one. And Friday's action wasn't great. It's not a piercing pattern, but we held above the 20-period moving average, and we held above this trend line, and we are being squeezed into the apex of this triangle. What we want to see is a breakdown through this trend line, the 20-period moving average, and a get-go through the 200-period moving average, this purple line, and then eventually these ones. I still continue to think that this carry trade will begin to unwind quite quickly. I've seen a lot of reports, and you can see it from some of the data, that this long trade, in other words, yen weakness, is an overcrowded trade, even though we haven't got quite as high as the last time, where after which the unwinding of the carry trade occurred. We have got up to almost the 78.6% Fibonacci level, and we are as committed or overcrowded currently as we were at the top there. So there's every chance that we'll move down. Continue to believe that we'll see eventually 130s, and then into the 120s for the dollar yen. And that may take the best part of a year, and we'll have to see how things go with the new administration in January and so on in the US. Let's have a look at stocks. I don't want to waste your time talking much about this. We're very much sideways on the indices. We have no trades on the indices, but we do have a short trade on NVIDIA, which is looking good. Let's zoom into the two key charts that we've been trading this week. And that's short NVIDIA from around the top here. Actually, I think we got in very close to the top. So that one is looking quite good. And I'm not going to go into detail now. I will do next week when we get back from holiday, actually the end of next week. But I think that's got some great potential to move down quite a long way. The other trade we took, and if you've been following me on X, and once again, because I'm on holiday, I haven't been doing a lot of videos. So please follow me on X. It's the same handle, at ArcisFX. And I posted a lot of these trades up on X in this last week. So you can have a look at my thoughts and my trades, my exact trades on MSTR. So MicroStrategies, we sold right at the top on Thursday. We also sold a little bit more further down. And on Friday, we sort of retraced a little bit to the 50% level and then continued to move down. I don't know what you guys think about it. Put it in the comments. Let me know. But this Michael Saylor, I don't know what to say really about all of this. It all looks a little bit weird to me. These huge moves, this sort of parabolic move into oblivion. It looks very much like an 80s tech boom sort of move. And this trade's very much in line with Bitcoin, although much more vigorously, because it seems to be a very highly leveraged holding in Bitcoin. And in fact, MicroStrategy's holding in Bitcoin is about 30% of its market cap. But not only is it 30%, but I think it's also fairly highly leveraged. So you can multiply or X that 30% by whatever number you think is the right number. Let me know what you think. So we saw a bit of a pullback in Bitcoin, not much, and a dramatic pullback in MicroStrategy. Of course, there was short covering, profit taking, shenanigans maybe even, whatever it might be. And I did make a comment on X. I don't normally trade meme stocks. This is looking more and more like that. But we're short right from the top here and from over there. And we're holding on to this trade, looking for quite a dramatic move down. The next nearest support, the 20-period moving average here on the day chart, is down at 375. That's also where the top Bollinger Band, the 200-period Bollinger Band is. And below that, the 50-period moving average, which is really the medium to long-term trend indicator, is all the way down here near this purple trend line into the 200s, the high 200s. So, wow, what a trade. One of the best trades I've taken this year, in conjunction with simultaneously, funnily enough, going long on Bitcoin. So let's have a look at Bitcoin, and I'll tell you what I think may happen. And for brevity's sake, I'm not going to cover metals, but I've been posting a lot of comments on metals on X, and I did a video last week on the metals as well, so you can see my opinion on that. We're long on both gold and silver. We're also long on palladium and platinum, and they're all doing pretty well, particularly gold, of course, with what's going on in the world. But Bitcoin, just under $100,000 per Bitcoin. We got to 99.5, maybe 99.6. Once again, I can't see precisely in this light. You can't believe the glare off the screen. So I'm sort of making some of this up. No, not really. I think we might get a little dip down to 93,000 at the worst before, in order to flush out some long hands and maybe get some people interested in the short side, and then burst up through 100,000 to 102, 104, maybe 105, and then a pullback and quite a significant correction thereafter. We're fully long on Bitcoin right now. It's the weekend, it's trading, and after a little pullback yesterday, we've bounced back up again. I think that might be a little sort of optimistic to think that that's going to hold there. And let's go to the 4-hour chart, and you can see what I think might happen. We could get down to the 50-period moving average at around 94.5, but more likely to this previous swing high here. And there's a big order block and market structure break there. And so if we got down there, it would definitely set it up for a good long burst through 100,000, up a little bit higher, maybe 2%, 3%, 5%, and then a correction. And that correction could take us as low as 80,000, maybe 75, something like that. Until that happens, we are long on Bitcoin, fully long, committed long, but we're hedged with MicroStrategy, short. And because they've been trading in tandem noticeably, and because they've now decoupled, MicroStrategy is collapsing, Bitcoin holding up pretty strong. And it looks to me actually a very tiny correction in Bitcoin caused a dramatic move down in MicroStrategies. So not only is it perhaps just some profit taking and so on, but perhaps they've upped their leverage. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in the background? So going across to energies, not much to say really. We've exited our trade on natural gas. Let me show you. We ended up staying in the continuous contract right up until, let's go to the day chart, right up until we got to the underside of this channel. We took our profit there. So we got long just above 2.2 and we got out just above 3.4. So we got about $1.23 on that. And now I'm waiting for this to pull back. The rolls on Tuesday. My broker's already rolled over, and I'll show you what it looks like at Black Bull. So this is the futures price, the Henry Hub futures price on Black Bull. Let's start with the day chart. I hope this is useful for you folks. I'm sweating drenched out here in the sun. So there's the channel breakout. There's a classic opportunity for a breakout pullback trade. And I did post this on X as well on Friday. There's the zone that I think we could pull back into. And if we do that, we'll have a great opportunity to trade the bounce off the breakout. And we could get right back up into 3.5, 3.6. And with a bit of luck, we could actually get above 4 into maybe 4.2. Nevertheless, I'll be looking for opportunities to buy here, and I'll be looking for a 4-hour reversal candle or setup or pattern, anything that gives me an indication that we should be buying. This is what it looks like on the 4-hour chart. So there's the ovoid shape that you saw on the day chart, and we should pull back into here somewhere. So I've given it some space here, some leeway for opportunities to bounce early off these moving averages on the top of the breakout area, or even a fake sort of pullback a little bit deeper to get everyone a little concerned, as natural gases want to do. And that could take us down to the bottom of the triangle or the rising triangle line, or even this order block down at 2.7. I think it's least likely that we'll get that low, and the ideal situation, of course, will be a bounce off the structure pattern break, and that's at around about the $3 level, the big round, the number that we've all come to love and respect over the last year or two, as we've been trading between $2 and $3 roughly, $3.40, in fact down to $1.50 at one point. So, but roughly between $2 and $3. So $3 is a key level. That's the breakout level too, and it's also where all these triangles and moving averages are. So we're also short on WTI. We've only got one small position on here. I'm looking to add on any rallies up into any of these areas as high as 76 or even 80. I continue to think that we can get down into the low 60s, into the 50s, into the 40s, and potentially even to the 30s. I'm not going to talk about the Rand pairs. We're long on the VIX. That pulled back a bit on Friday with the rally in the stock markets. Defense stocks doing well. And then TLT, we're also long on this. It's been faffing around at this bottom level for a long time, forming this reversal oval pattern right down here. And we've got one long position there, one long position there. That one's out of the money, and this one's fractionally in the money. And you've seen many times. If you haven't, you can look at my previous videos on the path that I think we could take on TLT. That'll take some time, perhaps the best part of a year or two. So there's no rush on that one. And then cocoa, if you've been following my cocoa trade, these are all the softs and grains. It's been an interesting ride. And we unhedged half of our long position, the long side of the hedge, on Friday at that spike high there. Took some profit on the long side. I haven't added anything to the short side, so we're still 50% hedged on this, looking for a move back into here, and then eventually down below this double bottom and into these trend lines. So that's cocoa. It's been an interesting ride. Follow me on Twitter or X if you're interested in that one. And there's quite a lot of folk following along on there. And for the rest of this, really nothing has changed since my last update. We're still long on cotton, still long on soya, still long on sugar, long on corn. We've just taken a short position on coffee there, very 10% size position, minute. And on coffee, we're looking for a move up into the trend line for the next part. I wasn't sure if we'd get through there. We did. Next stop is around here at about 311. Maybe slightly higher, maybe with a blow off top into 320, 330, 340. We've got a very, very tiny position on coffee right now, so I'm not too worried about that at all. We're also long on wheat. We have a position from about 5, and we have one from about 550, so I think that's doing okay as well. And that's it, folks. If you're interested in my trades, please go across to X and subscribe, follow, press the notification bell on X so that you don't miss the alerts. And I'll try and update you if I can. The internet's been terrible. I don't even know if this video is going to be able to upload. So let's give it a go. Take care. Good luck with your trading. Bitcoin, don't get whipsawed. I spoke about this last week. Don't be too eager to go short. Don't be too eager to go long. I think we're at or near a turning point.
Trading coins in the midday sun. Ooh, yeah. Zanzibar's where the fun's begun. Crypto's flowing like the ocean's waves, making moves, cashing out